One of the biggest questions around Star Wars Battlefront, even before its release, was third or first person. There has been ever since the beta a school of thought which says that if you're not playing in third person, you're giving yourself a massive disadvantage. But are you? Just how much of a difference does it actually make? From playing Star Wars Battlefront for the past week, my conclusion is not enough to change how you want to play the game. It's one of those things similar to the videos about best weapons in Battlefield 4. Yes, whilst technically it may be true that in some situations it can give you the edge, does this warrant enough of a concern to choose playing with or in a certain way that may not actually be your own personal preference? As not just myself but others have concurred, usually it's not worth that stretch. So in Battlefront we know that ADSing has essentially no purpose beyond just zooming you in a little or giving you a slightly better aim. It also means that in close encounters, taking the time to ADS is going to actually disadvantage you versus someone who does not. Providing of course that you both start firing at the same time and are of both equal skill. And then of course being in third potentially can sometimes provide you with a little more information about enemies in your locale. But how often does this really matter? To me, not enough for it to actually be making a huge difference. Many people delighted this week by telling me, Luton, you must be the only person playing in first person. Really? I doubt it, considering every person I know plays the game in first person because it just feels right. Now let's say for example that I was losing every firefight. Every time I came up against someone, they just dropped me first. I'd be thinking to myself, wow, they have got some edge, I need to change it up. Is that happening? No. Well then surely I must be sliding way down the scoreboard, right? Because every game, every time, everyone else has a huge advantage, right? No. From all the games I've played, of which have generally been just a friendly blast up, run around fest, I've been playing usually in the top half of players, generally in the top 4 to 5, so hardly a crippling disadvantage. Like so many of these technical tricks to make you better, it all comes down to the specific situation you're facing. If you are in a very specific encounter, then yes, it may give you a small 10% edge on the other player. But if it's only 10% out of every game, and I think that that's giving it a generous amount, then is it worth changing up how you want to play? I would argue, no, it isn't. If nothing else, the game just feels far more immersive in first person. And isn't that what Battlefront is meant to be all about? The experience? Let's be honest with ourselves, Battlefront is the most casual shooter to come to the AAA mainstream in some time, and all the little tips and tricks about how to do better are going to make such a small impact on your gameplay as to be totally irrelevant 90% of the time. Third person won't help you avoid an AT-AT orbital strike, it won't help you avoid Luke's amateur Jedi lightsaber, and it won't help you avoid that guy who just jetpacked over you and shot you in the back, nor the guy who decided to sit in a bush on Endor, and I could just go on and on with more examples. Play the game how you want to play, enjoy it, play with friends, don't think about the technicalities because it just isn't that sort of game. So third or first person, you tell me in the comments down below.